Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make these cards, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description. Today, I'd like to share with you my first Paper Pumpkin alternative project using the Gifts Galore Paper Pumpkin Kit from November 2021. This cute kit creates 9 gift boxes, and there are 3 different styles, and so you get to make 3 of each one. Look how cute these are. It also comes with the little bags where you can put some treats inside and then tie it up, and then that fits inside this cute box. It's so adorable, and they were super quick and easy to make. If you'd like to watch me unbox this kit or make these boxes, you can click on the link in the top right corner, and it will take you to my playlist for this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, which will also include my alternative projects as the week goes on. So today I have used those items in the kit to create these really cute and simple cards. And they're kind of surprise cards, which means when you open it, you're going to get a little bit of a surprise. This one is, I think it's called a trifold card. And I like what this one has, like a circle, and you can see through it. So that's called like a peekaboo window. And so you can kind of see that fun pattern from the tree. And this is the card we're going to be making. I've also created it with those other shapes from the treat boxes in other cards. And I will share those with you after we create our tree card today. So let's go ahead and get started. So to begin this card, you're going to need to start with 2 card bases. The first one is a pool party card base, and I just chose that color because I think it looks really nice with the tree. You could choose any coordinating color. This is your regular card base size, which is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches and scored in the middle at 4.25 inches. The second card base is the one that goes inside, and I would recommend using some just regular basic white cardstock because it's a little thinner, and so then you're not creating a lot of bulk with inside your card. And you can see that it's smaller than the first card base. And so what I've done is I've cut it down to 5.25 inches by 8 inches and scored at 4 inches. And so you can go ahead and fold that in half. I like to use a bone folder to get a nice crease. And then you're going to lay the tree over that. Now you do want to have the opening be on the left side because you open it from the right and then you open it from the left to see the message. Okay, so you are going to want to add your tree with the opening on the left, and you can decide how much of the tree to show. So for my card, I just cut off a little bit at the top and then did most of the trimming at the bottom. What was nice about that is I did get an extra piece that I could use underneath my greeting on the front from the bottom of my tree. So you're going to just kind of eyeball where you want to place that. Then you're going to take one of the layering circle dies, or really any shape that you want to use, and you're going to lay it. Let me show you what I did here. This is a template I created so that I could create multiples quickly. But just to give you an idea of how I figured out where to place it. So once I decided where to have my tree, you could glue this down if that makes it easier for you. Let's go ahead and do that. So just place a little adhesive on the back. That way, if you do want to move it around, you can. And again, I'm going to place it so that the top of the tree is just slightly off my cardstock. Try to place it in the center. So something like that. And again, just a little adhesive. Then you're going to take your die and you're going to try to find the best place for this. I did want to try to have it be as close to the center of my card as possible. It ended up being a little bit larger at the top than at the bottom. So you can kind of just bring it up if you want. These open areas here are going to be covered with the greeting. So if you have a couple open areas that are right across from each other, that's okay. So this was where I wanted it to go. So what I did is I took, this part might not make sense to you, but this is how I did it, and you may find a better way. But I took this piece and I lifted it up and I added my larger piece behind. So this is my template and it's been cut to 5.5 inches. Sorry, that's going down 5.5 inches by 4 1/4, which is the full card front size. So there will be a little border going all the way around it. So I did that. Then I took some washi tape and actually just kind of add the washi tape just to the die and the paper on the bottom. Now, if it's sticking to the cardstock on the top, you can add a little bit of paper underneath that to hold it in place. So I've just added it to the bottom piece and the die cut. And so then I can slide this piece out like that. Maybe not going that way, maybe go from the bottom. And then it will be where I want to cut. Now you can see that my template is a little bit pushed up a little higher than I just placed it. So I'm going to go ahead and move it just a little bit. But that's how I kind of figured out where I wanted it to go. Okay, so you can use that to help you find where to cut your space for your card, or I will list the dimensions from the top and the sides and the bottom below in the description or on my blog. So you can go find that information there if you want to just measure it. Okay, so then what I did with this is I took my Pool Party card base, and you can fold it if you want, just so you can see how it goes. And you're just going to lay this directly on top, and there won't be any border because it's a full card base size. Now you do want to keep it open when you run it through your machine so that you don't cut a hole on the back. Okay, so go ahead and run this through your machine, and then we'll come right back and keep making our card. Using a template like this makes creating cards, multiple cards of this style, really easy. You just want to make sure you label which is the top and bottom so that you can always get it in the right place. So then you can go ahead and fold that along that score line again. And then you're going to want to add your card inside and just double check that everything is where you want it to be. Okay, so what I want is I want to see green at the top and green at the bottom, and then this area here is okay because we're going to cover it up with our greeting. So that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe add a little more adhesive just so that stays in place. And then I'm going to take a pair of paper snips and trim off any excess that's hanging over the sides. And then down here, I'm going to use my paper trimmer. So I'm just going to line it up at 4 or 5 1/4 and then trim off that bottom piece. And then I can use this for underneath my greeting because we hate to waste beautiful paper like that. And it has such a fun pattern on the back. So then I'm going to add this to the inside of my card base, little adhesive. Want a nice border all the way around. Just make sure that when you close it, it's exactly how you want it to be. And then press that down. Okay, just like that. So next we're going to decorate the front, and I wanted just a nice subtle pattern, and I love the little snowflakes that were on the bag. And since I'm not making these into treat boxes, I thought this would be a fun way to repurpose these bags. So the bags are just about 9 inches in length, and so you can get 2 cards from one bag. And I'm going to show you how to cut the bag so that you can do that. So this is the smaller bag because I've already cut off the top for my card. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut the second piece from this bag, but you can do the exact same things from a full bag. So you'll notice that when you look at the bag, it has some creases. And for my first 2 cards that I made, I cut them and the creases were showing, and I really didn't love that. And so I wanted to come up with a way that you got a nice smooth surface. And so I'm going to share that way with you now. So the front and the back of the bags have no creases. So that's going to be the parts that we're going to add to our card. So if you think about it going on your card like this, you're going to need to cut a 4-inch piece from your bag. So if you're working with a full piece, you're going to just slide it in and cut 4 inches, okay? And that's going to give you the 2 pieces you need because you have both the front and back. So this is my piece I'm going to get a second piece from. So just go ahead and cut that off. And so now you have this open piece here. And I'm now going to just trim off the edges of each side. And so what I want to finish with is a piece that's no smaller than 2 3/4 inches. And so there's plenty of room here because it's about 3 inches in width, the bag total. So I just trimmed off maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, and then I'll do the same on the opposite side. And that gives me 2 3/4 almost perfectly. Okay, so just do a nice small cut on both sides and it will separate the pieces. You'll get 2 little skinny pieces that you can use maybe for a future project. But you have 2 nice flat pieces, and those are the ones we're going to use on our card. So right here on the sides of our circle is where we're going to cover up our greeting. So we're going to add some adhesive there. Make sure it stays in on the cardstock and doesn't go beyond. One of these pieces has a little bit of a little thicker piece there. So you see that it's nice and smooth there, and then there's a piece that's doubled up, and that's from when the bag's placed together. This is that glue side. So I'm going to add that piece to the center where the adhesive is. So I'm just going to place this up at the top, make sure there's a nice little border going down, and then just place, I'm adhering it here in the center with that piece that's going to get covered up. I may need to add a little more adhesive here. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with this one. This one's the front piece, and so either side really works well. It doesn't matter. And then that gets adhered. And you can see that they overlap slightly in the middle, and that's exactly what we want, because that part's going to be covered. So it's going to look like a nice full sheet of this beautiful plastic pattern paper. Okay, so next we're going to stamp our greeting, and I have Merry Christmas on a clear block. I'm just going to ink it up with the Flirty Flamingo ink spot that came in the kit. And I did use just a regular piece of basic white cardstock, and I've just cut it to, I think it's 7/8 of an inch by 4 inches. So it's just going to go straight across my card. Then I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and that little piece of paper from the bottom of my tree, and I'm going to trim the edges so that they're nice and flat. I'm going to rotate, and if you wanted to, you could try putting that cute little pattern, something like that. That might be really cute if you want to keep that shape at the bottom. If you want to just trim it off, then just line it up with your paper trimmer and trim off those shapes. And then let's see, what we're looking for is just slightly smaller than our greeting. So I went to 3 3/4. Now, if you look closely, you're going to have a little line from where the treat boxes are supposed to be applied. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that around and cover that line with my greeting. and then place it like that. So you're going to have a little bit of that line showing, but not enough to really notice. Just take a little adhesive. Any type of adhesive will work. And add it to the bottom. Just make sure it's nice and straight. It's going to be just a little bit smaller than the 4-inch strip. Okay, so something like that. And then you can add this to your card with some dimensionals. I'm going to keep the dimensionals on this side so that I don't see them poking through the window when I open the card. Again, we're going to cover up these openings here so it looks like it's just one full circle going right across that opening. So when you open it, you see, oh, it's a tree. But when it's closed, it looks just like a fun pattern back there. So the last thing we're going to add is a paper clip and some twine. And both these things come from the kit. And it's a little easier to add the twine to the paper clip if you already have the paper clip on some cardstock. So the paper clips are a little bit tough, and I just ripped my paper there. Maybe I will just quickly restamp that and put a new one over it. All right, so I've restamped it on the same size of paper. I've added adhesive over the whole back so that it doesn't pull off or look like it there's another piece underneath it. So I'm just going to add that directly over my little mishap, and nobody is the wiser. So then I have opened up my paper clip just a little bit so that it can slide on here a little more easily. There we go. And then I'm going to take my twine, and I'm using the green Old Olive twine. And I did cut it to 8 inches because I just want a small little bow here. So I'm going to find the center, tie a knot, make sure the ends stay together, and then you can just put your finger above that knot and just slide it down. And that's one way you can make sure that those ends are the same. And then just tie a cute little bow, just like that. So I do have one more cute little thing you can do to make this card a little more special, and that is to add a little bit of dimension to the ornaments on the tree with the shimmery crystal effects. So all you need to do is just, if it hasn't already been cut, you're going to make sure that you have a nice small hole at the top, and then you're just going to add a small dot inside each of these ornaments. And I just do a little dot, and then I push the tip down onto my paper and then pull away. And that kind of just keeps it from getting those stringy bits when you pull this glue away from what you're working on. So I'll just go ahead and do these really quick. All right. So maybe you can see how that just adds a fun little 3-dimensional element to this Christmas tree. So you do want to make sure that you leave the card open so that the crystal effects can dry completely. I gave it a couple hours before I closed my card. And you want to just make sure when you touch it that they're nice and hard and that there's no give. If you close it a little bit early, then it could stick to your card and be difficult to open later because it's very much like glue. And I do live in a dry climate, and so it may take you a little bit longer for your crystal effects to dry. So make sure to keep that open. And then our card is all done. But before we go, I'd like to just share with you my other versions using the other elements that came in the kit. So this one is the snowman one. And on the back of the snowman, you get this really cute, let me show you, this polka dot on the pool party. And so I thought it looked really great with the Flirty Flamingo card base, kind of a little different Christmas look. I did add some of the green pattern, and that comes from the back of the gift box. And so when I trimmed this one down, I did have a strip left and decided to add a little bit of green to this card with that pattern. Again, I wish I would have done that technique I showed you to get the nice, smooth, clear snowflake pattern, but then everything else is the same, and it looks like I forgot to tie a bow on this one, so I'll need to go back and do that. Now on the inside, because I showed the back of the snowman, I wanted you to still be able to see the cute snowman from when you open the card. So this one is not a trifold card, and it just opens on one side. But I did add some fun crystal effects to the eyes and the nose, the mouth, and the kohl on the buttons. And you can see here that there are some gaps from this circle, and I've just covered those up with my greeting. Okay, so it looks like a full circle in the front, and then when you open it, it's this fun surprise snowman. And then I've just added a single white paper here for my greeting. So that's the snowman one. And then this is the presents. I did think that it was kind of fun to get some of those different shapes poking through, but if you want to have a nice solid like this one, then you could do the same thing and have it be on the back and then just have it be a single card instead of a fun fold. But this one I did do a fun fold with. You can see here that this pattern comes from the snowman, which when I cut the snowman down to fit my card base, I did have that extra piece, and I've added that here at the bottom of this greeting. And then this is a fun fold as well. So you open it, you have all these fun gifts. This one comes from, this gift at the bottom is actually the gift at the top here. And so I trimmed off the top, and then I did trim the bottom so that it could all fit, and then added this top one to the bottom here, just for a little more depth. And then I did add some crystal effects to the bows on each of the presents, just to add that fun texture and shine. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card today. And if you're interested in trying this card and would like to get written instructions or see close-up images, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. If you'd like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin kit, please use the link in the description box below to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.